Hello, America! As a proud Floridian, I bring you a cautionary tale. For the people of my state, Project 2025 isn't just a threat. It's a reality that we battle every day. From the classroom to the emergency room, Governor DeSantis turned Florida into a testing ground for the right's most egregious, dangerous policies. I can tell you firsthand, it's been devastating for families in my district and across the state. Today in Florida, state policy requires that kids are taught racist lies about so-called benefits of slavery. Books are banned. Teachers are censored. And our LGBTQ+ community endures endless state-sponsored hate. Even a cruel "don't say gay" school law. Today in Florida, as we grapple with record heat and rising seas, extreme MAGA Republicans deleted mentions of climate change from state law. Today in Florida, a near total abortion ban endangers women's health and their lives every day. I keep thinking about a Central Florida woman I met named Deborah, and at 23 weeks pregnant, she got news every future parent dreads. Her baby's kidneys never developed. Doctors told her that not only would her baby not survive, her own health was in danger. Deborah couldn't get the care she needed in Florida, and she couldn't afford to travel hundreds of miles to get it. She had no choice but to carry her son Milo to term, only to watch him die in her arms 2 hours later. This is Project 2025 in practice. It's what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance want for the whole country. But we're not going to let it happen, are we? Now, I say this as a Floridian, but also a mom and an American. We can't let them do to America what they did to Florida. Are you with me? So let's fight like hell to elect Kamala Harris, the next President of the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Please welcome Chair of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Susan Del Bene.
Hello, Democrats! It is my honor to represent the great state of Washington and to lead the House Democrats' work to take back the majority. As I travel the country, I hear the same thing. People want governance that works. They don't want tax cuts for the ultra-wealthy, not a national abortion ban, or more chaos and dysfunction, or blind loyalty to Trump. In other words, they don't want Republicans in charge. We're here because we need to elect Vice President Harris and Governor Walz. And giving them a Democratic Congress is how we turn promises into progress. A Democratic majority means lowering costs and growing the middle class, expanding the child tax credit and making it permanent, protecting reproductive freedom, and yes, a Democratic House means Speaker Jeffries will certify the 2024 election. We need just 4 more seats to take back the majority. The good news is we have fantastic candidates in winnable districts all across the country. In battleground states like Michigan and Arizona, in blue states like New York and California, and even in states like Iowa and Nebraska. And we're going to make history by picking up a seat in the state where I was born, Alabama. In 2022, we came within 7,000 votes of the majority. So it's within our power to win these critical races. This election is about our rights, our freedoms, our democracy, and our future. So let's get out the vote. Let's take back the House. Let's make Hakeem Jeffries our next speaker. And let's send Kamala Harris and Tim Walz to the White House. Thank you.
Please welcome Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison.
Friends, I'll never forget when I first saw the video of the murder of George Floyd. I was heartbroken. I was angry. And that morning, my phone rang. And on that line was Governor Tim Walz. Tim Walz felt the exact same way I did. And a few days later, Tim appointed me to prosecute Floyd's murder. Almost a year after that, minutes after the guilty verdict came down, my phone rang again. And it was Vice President Kamala Harris calling to congratulate my team and the work. Now, Kamala and Tim, they understand the legacy of George Floyd. No one is above the law, and no one is beneath it. No one is outside the circle of our compassion. In the Republican Party, everyone thinks they're above the law. Hell, nearly a dozen of their own lawyers are facing serious charges. Even their lawyers need lawyers. These con artists are trafficking in the defective goods of division, exclusion, and fear. And friends, selling defective goods is a scam. And like Kamala Harris, I am an attorney general. And attorney generals know what a scam is when they see it. Like my friend Tish James, for example, from New York. America, we won't be scammed again. We're not going back, we are going forward. And Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are ready to lead us there. I've worked side by side with Tim Walz for 18 years. His office is right across the hall from mine. And I've seen him deliver for the people of the state of Minnesota every day. Everybody knows Minnesota is one of the best states to live in, to raise a family, to do business, and we've got the best voter turnout in America. Facts. Kamala and Tim, they fight for the people, and they also listen. And when they say we need a ceasefire and an end to the loss of innocent lives in Gaza, and to bring hostages home, they're listening, friends. They agree with us. There are people watching tonight, and maybe even here tonight, who aren't sure yet about Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. If you want to know where they stand on some of the most urgent issues facing our country and the world, let me assure you, Kamala and Tim hear you. They listen, they care, and everyone is included in their circle of compassion. They believe that everybody counts and everybody matters. Let's put a stop to the scam of Donald Trump once and for all. And let's put Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in the White House. Let's go win.
Have you ever discussed Special Counsel Mueller or his investigation with anyone?
Could you repeat that question?
Has the president or anyone at the White House ever asked or suggested that you open an investigation of anyone? Yes or no, please, sir? Seems you'd remember something like that.
I don't know.
Please answer the question.
Senator, I think I've answered the question.
No, you've not.
I'm not able to be rushed this fast. It makes me nervous.
Can you think of any laws that give government the power to make decisions about the male body?
I'm not thinking of any right now. Never mind.
Let's move on.
Okay.
Please welcome Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel.
Hello, Chicago. I'm Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel. Let me tell you, being Attorney General is a tough job, right? But as California's Attorney General, Kamala Harris never shied away from a good fight. She's held accountable environmental polluters, sexual abusers, and transnational gangs. But what really stands out is when she stood up and protected her constituents' freedoms. In 2011, she refused to defend California's ban on same-sex marriage. She refused to argue that some families should have fewer rights than other families. It meant a lot. She was fighting for families like mine. Now, in 2022, I faced a similar situation when, after Roe v. Wade was overturned, Michigan's archaic abortion ban was resurrected. But Vice President Harris had my back, and she reminded me that protecting people's lives and defending their rights is our job. And just as the same-sex marriage ban was overturned in California, so too was the abortion ban in Michigan. By the way, I got a message for the Republicans and the justices of the United States Supreme Court. You can pry this wedding band from my cold, dead, gay hand. And I'm retaining a lot of water, so good luck with that. Look, I know that whether she's Attorney General or President of the United States, Kamala Harris will always be in our corner. Now, America, you get to be the judge. Do we go back to the corruption, criminality, and chaos of Donald Trump? Or do we move forward with Kamala Harris? We know when she takes an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution, she's actually read it.
We know that she'll appoint Supreme Court justices who will protect our freedoms. And let me tell you, Kamala knows you go from the courthouse to the White House, not the other way around. Ladies and gentlemen, I rest my case.
Wow. Wow. I just want to say thank you, Attorney General Nessel. So coming up, we have John and Rachel, proud, loving parents of 3. On October 7th, their son Hirsch, a U.S. citizen, was at a music festival when Hamas attacked. He was taken hostage, and he is still being held today, an American citizen. Rachel and John want what every parent wants: to hold their child close, to love on them, and keep them safe. I'm honored to introduce the 2 of them tonight.
Rachel and I are comforted to be back in our sweet home, Chicago. We were both born and raised here, and our families still live here. This is a political convention, but needing our only son and all of the cherished hostages home is not a political issue. It is a humanitarian issue. The families of the American 8 hostages meet every few weeks in Washington. We're heartened that both Democratic and Republican leaders demonstrate their bipartisan support for our hostages being released. We've met with President Biden and Vice President Harris numerous times at the White House. They're both working tirelessly for a hostage and ceasefire deal that will bring our precious children, mothers, fathers, spouses, grandparents, and grandchildren home, and will stop the despair in Gaza. We are all deeply grateful to them. We're also profoundly thankful to you, the millions of people in the United States and all over the world who have been sending love, support, and strength to the hostage families. You've kept us breathing in a world without air. There is a surplus of agony on all sides of the tragic conflict in the Middle East. In a competition of pain, there are no winners. In our Jewish tradition, we say, Kol Adam Olam Umlo'o. Every person is an entire universe. We must save all these universes. In an inflamed Middle East, we know the one thing that can most immediately release pressure and bring calm to the entire region. A deal that brings this diverse group of 109 hostages home and ends the suffering of the innocent civilians in Gaza. The time is now.
Hirsch, if you can hear us, we love you. Stay strong. Survive.
Bring them home.
Now, some of you may have the wrongful impression that I'm about to sing with this man. That ain't gonna happen. But I'll tell you what, I want to bring you all to a street in Newark, New Jersey called Martin Luther King Boulevard. On that street was this incredible housing project called Brick Towers. We never mistaked wealth with worth. In those towers was a tenant president named Miss Virginia Jones. Her son was murdered in the 1980s in the lobby of one of those buildings, but she was a woman of invincible joy. And I'll tell you this, I used to ask her, how are you so joyful? And she would always tell me, this church woman, she'd say, the joy I have, the world didn't give it to me. Come on now, come on now. She taught me that you've got to generate the joy, that hope is the active conviction that despair will never have the last word. And so tonight, there are so many challenges in our nation. There are so many problems that we're facing. Heck, if America hasn't broken your heart, you don't love her enough. But yet, we will be joyful warriors. We are going to bring back to the journey of our nation joy. And if there's any tradition in America that has helped us to generate that joy, it has been the artists of America. It has been those folks bringing the rock and roll and the funk, bringing the gospel and the hard rock. Well, tonight we are blessed by one of those great American artists that helps us to cleanse our spirits, to raise our hearts, and to bring in that joy. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you one of the true greats in America, someone to bring the joy to this incredible arena, Maren Morris.
If you don't like it, get the hell out. That's what they yell when I open my mouth. A stick is a stick, a stone is a stone, but who's gonna care if I don't? Who's gonna change if I won't? When time turns this moment to dust, I just hope that I'm proud of the woman I was. When lines of tomorrow are drawn, can I live with the side that I chose to be on? Will we sit on our hands, do nothing about it? Or will we leave this world better than we found it? Over and under and above the law, my neighbor's in danger. Who does he call when the wolf's at the door? What would you do? Shouldn't we try something new? We're over a barrel and at the end of 1, 2. When time turns this moment to dust, I just hope that I'm proud of the woman I was. When lines of tomorrow are drawn, can I live with the side that I chose to be on? Will we sit on our hands, do nothing about it? Or will we leave this world better than we found it? America, America, divided we fall. America, America, God save us all from ourselves and the hell that we built for our kids. America, America, we're better than this. When time turns this moment to dust, I just hope my son's proud of the woman I was. When lines of tomorrow are drawn, can I live with the side that I chose to be on? Will we sit on our hands, do nothing about it? Can we leave this world better than we found it? America, America.
All right, all right. You know what? I'm inspired. Maybe I will sing a song. To Donald Trump, a little B.B. King classic, The Thrill Is Gone. I want you all to know tonight is about joy. American history, our common history, is a testimony to taking on the insurmountable and achieving the impossible. That should bring us joy. Our progress never ever came easy. But in America, we do hard things. We built labor unions and small businesses. We created great public education and world-changing innovation. We nurtured the best athletes and artists humanity has ever seen, and we kept the promise of Medicare and Social Security for our seniors. Look at who we are. Against bigotry and hate, we advanced equal rights for all Americans. Civil rights, workers' rights, LGBTQ rights, reproductive rights, the right to marry who you love, the right to be free. We did all of this in a way that didn't pit American against American. We did this by healing rifts, by bridging divides, by pulling people together. And all the while, we in this nation lived up to our calling and our creed to be a more perfect union, to make this one nation under God a little more indivisible. Now, our nominees, Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, they bring the joy. Think about it. They're descendants of immigrants, shopkeepers, slaves, educators, people who faced pain with perseverance, people who met hate with love. They are the living dreams of their ancestors. But look in this arena, look around you right now. We are all our ancestors' wildest dreams. Generations who faced impossible odds and that responded to every one of their challenges with that classic American creed, yes, we can. So there are doubters out there. There are people that doubt our collective strength. They want to tell us how bad we are. They want to say that they alone can save us. Well, we know that the power of the people is greater than the people in power. And we're not going to lose our faith. Look, I want everybody in here to let us all say it together. I believe in America. Let me hear you. I believe in America. I believe in America because our elders told us that no matter what the obstacle, like the gospel says, we shall overcome. I believe in America because our soldiers died on beaches and battlefields. They died at sea and in the air so that we could be free today and say together, I believe in America. I believe in America because our fighters fought at Stonewall. Our marchers marched in Selma. Delegates met at Seneca Falls. Every single one of them believed in America, even when America didn't believe in them. Say it with me now. I believe in America because King dared to dream the impossible dream, because Neil Armstrong went to impossible heights, and because when we elect Kamala Harris, there is not a boy or girl in America from any creed, color, or heritage that will ever think being President of the United States is impossible again. Say it with me. I believe in America, the land of hope and heroism. I believe in America, the land of courage and compassion. I believe in America where we share common ground and common cause and one common destiny. And let me tell you, if you believe in America, if you love in America, then you will work for America. And when we work together, when we stand together, when we organize together, when we vote together, I will tell you this, when we fight, we win. Ladies and gentlemen, Veronica Escobar.
Buenas noches. Like countless Texans, I grew up going back and forth across the border from El Paso to Ciudad Juarez. My family would shop, have dinner, go to the doctor, pick up medicines. The border is my beloved home, the place where my children grew up. Forget what you hear on the news. I'm from there. When it comes to the border, hear me when I say, you know nothing, Donald Trump. He and his Republican imitators see the border and immigration as a political opportunity to exploit instead of an issue to address. Congress hasn't passed comprehensive immigration reform in nearly 4 decades. The 3 times they tried, Republicans blocked legislation that would have funded border security and created a more humane immigration system. They are not serious people. You know who is serious? Kamala Harris. I met the Vice President when she visited El Paso. I saw firsthand how she engaged with law enforcement, migrants, and human rights advocates. She was curious. She asked questions. She listened. And she didn't care if the cameras were on. Most of all, she recognized that the situation at the border is complicated, as filled with opportunities as it is with challenges. All Republicans have to offer is demonization and bluster. Democrats have solutions. With Kamala Harris as president, we can live up to the promise of America. We can strengthen legal pathways to immigration. We can secure our borders, and we can treat with dignity those who seek a better future within them.
I have a question for you. Who really wants a solution at our border?
Our administration worked on the most significant border security bill in decades. Some of the most conservative Republicans in Washington, D.C. supported the bill. Even the Border Patrol endorsed it.
And that bill included thousands of new border agents and personnel, new technology that can detect and stop fentanyl, more judges, and faster asylum processing. For the first time in decades, a chance at a real bipartisan solution.
But at the last minute, Trump directed his allies in the Senate to vote it down.
They're blaming it on me. I said, that's okay, please blame it on me, please.
He tanked the bipartisan deal because he thought it would help him win an election. Which goes to show Donald Trump does not care about border security. He only cares about himself.
The real difference is...
I was the Attorney General of a border state. In that job, I walked underground tunnels between the United States and Mexico on that border with law enforcement officers. I went after transnational gangs, drug cartels, and human traffickers that came into our country illegally. I prosecuted them. in case after case, and I won. So here is my pledge to you. As president, I will bring back the border security bill that Donald Trump killed, and I will sign it into law and show Donald Trump what real leadership looks like.
Please welcome Connecticut Senator Chris Murphy.
So, I just want to let you know, that everything that you just saw in that video, that's exactly what happened. I know because I was the Democratic senator who negotiated that bill to secure the border with President Biden and Vice President Harris. I want to tell you this as well. Donald Trump's allies weren't just in the room. They helped us write the whole bill. It was a bipartisan bill. It was a tough bill. $20 billion in new border security, gave the president the emergency power to shut down the border, made compassionate but serious reforms to our asylum system. One Republican said it would have had almost unanimous support if it weren't for Donald Trump. Trump killed that bill, and he did it because he knew that if we fixed the border, he'd lose his ability to divide us, his ability to fan the flames of fear about people who come from different places, right? You guys know this, right? Hate and division, that's Trump's oxygen, right? People like Trump and J.D. Vance, they need it to survive in politics. People are saying that they're weird, that they're creepy, and they are weird, they are creepy. But even worse, they're weak. Kamala Harris is not weak. For 20 years, Kamala Harris has been tough as nails when it comes to securing our border. When she was a California prosecutor, she went after drug smugglers, human traffickers. She put 100 gang members away in a single sweep. Trump says that a safe nation can't be an immigrant nation. That's flat wrong, and Kamala Harris knows it. She knows this too. Engraved on the Statue of Liberty is a poem. The last line reads, "I lift my lamp beside the golden door." For generations, that lamp has called people to start a brave new life in America. My ancestors, your ancestors, and the parents of the next President of the United States of America. Kamala Harris knows that we can be a nation of proud immigrants and a nation of strong immigration laws. That's why when she's president, she will bring that border bill back, and Kamala Harris is going to pass it. How do I know this? Because in this race, there is only one candidate who has ever been willing to do the worthy, redeeming work of making our country better, of recognizing that we do not have to choose between celebrating our heritage and enforcing our laws, right? The beautiful thing about America is that we can be both. We can be a nation of immigrants who love their country and a nation with a secure border. And there is only one candidate. There is only one candidate who can deliver that vision of America, and it's Kamala Harris. Thank you very much, Democrats.
Please welcome Bexar County Sheriff Javier Salazar. Please welcome California Representative Pete Aguilar.
I'm Pete Aguilar, chair of the Democratic Caucus. For 4 generations, my family has called California home. I grew up in San Bernardino, a working-class community defined by family, faith, and hard work. These values, shared by Latino families across this country, are what made my family's American dream possible. And only Kamala Harris and Tim Walz will protect the American dream so that every family can earn a living, own a home, and reach their full potential. This is a vision for America that Donald Trump will never understand. All he knows is chaos and division. He talks about tearing American families apart, pitting neighbor against neighbor, community against community. Compare that to what Kamala Harris has done as vice president. Almost 500,000 people who live here and are married to a U.S. citizen can now apply for lawful permanent residence. DACA recipients who graduated college have easier access to work visas. And we would have much more security at the border if Donald Trump hadn't tanked the bipartisan bill. Folks, we don't have to choose between a secure border and building an America for all. Under President Harris, we can and will do both. As a prosecutor, she took on transnational gangs and cartels. As president, she will fight for pathways to citizenship. And I can tell you, as the highest-ranking Latino in Congress, our community understands the stakes in this election because we believe in the promise of this country. We believe our nation is stronger when we keep families together. We believe our union is more perfect when dreamers become doctors, teachers, construction workers, and military service members. Latinos believe in that American dream and a brighter future. One where we secure our border, fix our broken immigration system, and unlock economic opportunity for all. And together, we will win. Thank you.
I'm a Filipino-Japanese DACA recipient.
I am a third-year medical student, and I am a DACA recipient.
Thanks to DACA, I've been able to open up my own business and represent clients as a lawyer.
So many of my dreams came a little bit closer.
It is disheartening to know that the court system may end DACA next year, and to also hear Donald Trump calling for mass deportations.
It is time that we recognize dreamers for who they are. We are contributors to this great nation.
I support Vice President Harris, who has continued to fight for DACA recipients.
She was the one who stood with us, who sat with us, who heard our stories.
We need a future President Harris to ensure that dreamers like me can continue to work and provide for ourselves, our communities, and our families.
Please welcome United States Marine Corps veteran, Carlos Eduardo Espina.
Buenas noches, mi gente. My name is Carlos Eduardo Espina. And if 2 decades ago, when my parents immigrated to College Station, Texas, you told them that one day their son would reach 14 million followers on social media, graduate law school, and speak at the Democratic National Convention, they might not believe you. But this is the United States of America, the land of opportunities where anything is possible. I know this because daily I interact with people who, like my parents, came to America to fulfill the dreams and ambitions that in their home countries were impossible. People who work hard, contribute to society, pay taxes because, yes, immigrants pay taxes, and love this country deeply. The same people Donald Trump wants you to believe are poisoning the blood of our country. This is dangerous, and it is outright anti-American. Because as Ronald Reagan, a Republican, once said, we lead the world because unique among nations, we draw our people, our strength from every country and every corner of the world. Reagan knew that welcoming immigrants is not a Democratic or a Republican value, it is an American value. To be pro-immigrant is to be pro-America. And that's why Kamala Harris understands this too. And that's why, once elected, she will reject hate and find solutions that make our nation stronger. So let's get her elected. Let's get her elected. And ensure that our country remains a beacon of freedom and opportunity for all. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the great state of Texas!